just wanted to go back to where you started, Angela. You started with, when we were framing of the today's conversation, you said that Nova Scotia's Mass Casualty Commission and the horrific incident that happened here, and the commission was formed. And the commission had series of recommendations similar to the CKW inquest recommendations that Pam just talked about. And one of the clear recommendation that is in, or the language which is in the commission's report is, which talks about that community-based and not a carceral approach should be emphasized, right? So Emily just talked about that. Like, where is the conversation about the alternates? Where is the conversation about how what else are the options? Um, and and because the carceral approach is something that we have used, and we think that that is what is keeping the place safe for specific populations, we continue to invest in those approaches, right? So we forget who those approaches do not save. We forget who are the people who are getting harmed the most. And I think I'm kind of repeating myself when I say that it's the most marginalized of the marginalized communities who do not get safety out of these provisions, right? And I think that's the challenge that I am always kind of thinking about. And the evidence that they had in front of them is the legislation that has been made in England and Wales and Scotland. And to be honest with you, as a very small organization that was invited to engage in this at, I think, before it went to the House of Commons, there was an engagement session organized. We did some research for that engagement session. Then it went to House of Commons. We prepared for that, and then there was this study which was being taken on, happening. So we have invested, from my perspective, for an organization that is main mission is to do frontline work, and we do law reform and advocacy work as part of that big picture thinking. I felt that we did a lot of good work of bringing evidence forward that even from England and Wales, the legislation there does not show anything that it has improved the safety of women and children in those jurisdictions either. So if you don't have evidence that it is making any changes there, you have recommendations from various commissions, including MMIWG, that there are so many things that can be done other than this. Why did people gravitate, or the lawmakers gravitated towards this? And I don't have, I don't have a crystal ball to say why from the perspective of what happened. Even the changes that Pam talked about at the beginning, the submissions that we made initially on the language that was, there was a lot of problems that we identified in the language that is at the second reading. There is so many changes. There's almost like a deconstruction of what a coercive control pattern can look like in relationships. Again, it doesn't capture everything that needs to be captured. But my question remains that, other than that, it's a band-aid solution and it's a quick solution, and it gets you a tick mark on saying that we did the right thing. I cannot see if there is an evidence-based approach to it. And that is my point that I want to raise with all of you, that I think one of the things that lacks in our justice system mechanisms is evaluation and monitoring of our justice system. We don't actually track the cases, and we don't really monitor, like, what is the outcome of all these new laws that get made. And there are few that, in last 1 year, there are few things that have been amended and changed within the criminal code itself. And I feel, unless and until we would push for or ask for a more evidence-based framework, all of these legal changes are not necessarily going to bring the outcome that everyone wants to see, which is more safety and end of gender-based violence. I'm not questioning that at all. So again, it's one of those situations where you're not questioning the intent. You are questioning why were they more convinced of the change as compared to the evidence that was in front of us, which all of us were presenting to them.